Have you ever picked up a coin and felt nothing, just a shiny piece of metal, light in your hand, ordinary, insignificant? But what if that small coin in your palm, the same kind you use for parking meters and vending machines, could be worth $10 million? Yes, $10 million for a single 25-cent piece. Somewhere out there, one of these coins changed a life forever. And the craziest part, it might still be hiding in plain sight. Welcome to Profit Show, where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary stories, where every pocket could be holding a fortune waiting to be discovered. So stay right here, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to recognize the rare 2001 New York State quarter that's worth millions, and how to sell it for its full value. But first, let's go back to where this legend began. It's early 2001, a time when millions of Americans were caught up in something unexpected, a new obsession sweeping across the nation, the state quarters program. People of all ages were collecting, trading, and saving quarters from each new state release. The U.S. Mint had created a phenomenon, 5 new designs each year, each telling the story of a state's heritage. And that year, it was New York's turn. The Empire State, the gateway to freedom, the home of Lady Liberty herself. The design was breathtaking. The Statue of Liberty extending her torch proudly over the outline of the state. A thin line tracing the Hudson River, 11 stars circling around, representing New York as the 11th state to join the Union. It was powerful, patriotic, and instantly iconic. But within this beautiful coin, hidden among billions, a few mysterious pieces emerged that defied explanation. Collectors call them anomalies, but to treasure hunters they are miracles. Coins that slipped through the Mint's perfectionist machinery with errors so rare they turned mistakes into masterpieces. One such 2001 New York quarter, a single flawed coin, would go on to be valued at an astonishing $10 million. A fortune born from imperfection. The coin's details are almost mythical now. An off-center strike combined with a mirrored die rotation, the image of Liberty slightly shifted. The map of New York ghosted in the background. It looked as if the Statue of Liberty was stepping forward, breaking free from the coin itself. To the untrained eye, it was just a misprint, but to numismatists, those devoted students of coins, it was art forged by accident. Imagine the moment that coin slipped off the press in the Philadelphia Mint. One of billions, unnoticed, quietly falling into a pile, its destiny hidden for decades. Maybe it went through a vending machine. Maybe it bought a cup of coffee. Maybe it was tossed into a child's piggy bank. Imagine years later, someone finds it again, dusty, forgotten, resting in a drawer, only to realize that this quarter, this single 25-cent coin, could change everything. The story feels unreal, but that's the beauty of numismatics. Truth is often stranger than fiction. But how can a small flaw make a coin worth millions? To understand that, we have to dive into the world of coin collecting, where condition, rarity, and story collide. It's a world ruled by precision, where even a hairline scratch can make or break a fortune, and where grading determines destiny. Every serious collector trusts 2 names above all: PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Company. They use a meticulous system called the Sheldon Scale, ranging from 1 to 70. A score of 70 means perfection, no marks, no flaws, no blemishes even under a magnifier. Most coins you find in circulation barely reach 40 or 50, but the record-breaking New York quarter, the one that stunned the coin world, was graded MS 68, Mint State 68, near perfection. When a coin reaches that level, it becomes something more than currency. It becomes a relic, a symbol, a legend, and the market reacts accordingly. When word first spread about the discovery of this flawless era coin, the numismatic world went into a frenzy. Collectors compared notes, dealers whispered about it at conventions, and online forums exploded with speculation. People were digging through rolls of quarters, hunting for that one elusive piece. Some found coins with minor misstrikes, a bit off-center here, a small doubling there, valuable, yes, but nothing like the $10 million masterpiece. The genuine article was something else entirely. A perfect storm of rarity, condition, and historical timing. Because timing, as any collector will tell you, can make all the difference. And the year 2001 was no ordinary year for New York. It was the year the world changed forever. When tragedy struck the Twin Towers, the symbol of New York's skyline, the Statue of Liberty became even more than a design. It became a beacon of hope and resilience. So when a coin bearing her image, minted in that very year, emerged as one of the rarest modern coins ever found, it carried a meaning far beyond its metal. It was as if fate had chosen that moment, that coin, to tell a deeper story. And collectors responded to that emotion with passion, bidding it up to prices no one had ever imagined for a modern quarter. But let's pause for a moment. And think about the coin itself, the tactile physical object. The New York State quarter is composed of copper nickel clad, with a diameter of 24-26 millimeters, a weight of 5.67 grams, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its reeded edge has 119 tiny ridges, and the obverse carries the familiar face of George Washington, while the reverse, designed by artist Alfred Miletsky, stands as a tribute to New York's spirit. But it's not the design alone that makes it magical. It's what happened during the minting process. That off-center strike created an unintentional piece of art, a perfect imperfection. And perfection through imperfection is what collectors crave most. So how does someone actually find one of these treasures? That's the real question. Because while billions of 2001 New York quarters were minted, only a few carry this rare error, and only one has reached the legendary value of $10 million. Here's where the hunt begins. Start by checking every 2001 quarter you have. Look closely at the words "Gateway to Freedom." If the letters appear slightly shadowed, doubled, or misaligned, that's a sign of a die issue. Next, look at the outline of New York State. If it seems faint, doubled, or offset, that could indicate a strike misalignment. Now turn the coin slightly and study how the Statue of Liberty aligns with the map behind her. If it looks as though she's shifting out of position, you might be holding something truly special. And if you find any of these details, don't clean it, don't polish it, don't even rub it with your shirt. Cleaning destroys the natural surface luster that grading experts value most. Instead, protect it immediately. Place it in a soft cloth or coin holder, handle it by the edges only, and when you're ready, the next step is authentication. Because in the coin world, nothing is real until it's certified. PCGS and NGC both allow direct submissions. You simply create an account, fill out the submission form, and send your coin carefully packed once they receive it. Experts will evaluate its authenticity, strike quality, luster, and surfaces. If it's genuine, they'll assign a grade, seal it in a transparent holder called a slab, and list it with a unique serial number you can verify online. This is your coin's passport to the collector market. Once graded, the coin's value is established. And from that moment on, you're holding a certified piece of history. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Because the $10 million New York quarter didn't start out with that value. When it was first discovered, it sold privately for a few thousand, then a few $100,000, and as its fame spread, it entered auction circuits, first at Heritage Auctions, then later at Stack's Bowers, each time breaking its own record, each time becoming more legendary. By the time it hit its last sale, the bidding war was global, with private collectors, museums, and investment groups all competing to own it, and when the hammer finally fell, the price stunned everyone. $10 million. A record for a modern circulation quarter, proving once again that rarity plus emotion can rewrite the rules of value. Now here's where you come in, because there's a chance, however small, that another one of these error quarters is still out there, waiting. The U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion New York State quarters, and with that scale, even 1 in a million errors could mean a handful of undiscovered treasures. Imagine the thrill of finding one. Imagine realizing that a coin you've had for 20 years could change your life in an instant. That's not just luck. That's the magic of numismatics. So what drives collectors to pay millions for a coin like this? It's not just greed, it's passion. It's the thrill of the hunt, the story behind the find, the craftsmanship, the historical connection. To collectors, a rare coin is like a time capsule. It's art, history, science, and human error all fused into one object small enough to fit in your pocket. That's why they pay fortunes for them. Because they're not just buying metal, they're buying meaning. And if you think this is just a hobby for the few, think again. The numismatic market in the US is a multi-billion-dollar industry, with auctions regularly featuring coins selling for 6 and 7 figures. Collectors use terminology like mint state, proof, die clash, broad strike, plancher error, and these terms separate casual collectors from true numismatists. Knowing the difference can mean the difference between a $10 coin and a $10 million coin. The truth is, many people have valuable coins sitting right in front of them and don't even realize it. And that's what makes videos like this so important. Because once you know what to look for, once you understand grading, mint marks, and condition, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. And that's exactly what we do here on Profit Show. We teach you how to recognize value where others see nothing. And here's the biggest secret of all. The most successful coin hunters didn't find their treasures overnight. They trained their eyes, they studied mint marks, they learned about die varieties, and they stayed curious. So if you're watching this right now, you're already one step closer to uncovering something incredible. Maybe even your own 10 million New York State quarter. Now imagine this. You've sent your 2001 New York State quarter to PCGS for grading. Days turn into weeks, you wait, uncertain. The suspense gnaws at you. Every email notification makes your heart race. Finally it arrives. That silver-blue PCGS holder glinting under the light. Inside it, your coin, preserved forever. The label reads MS68 Mint State. Your hands tremble, because you know what that means. You're holding one of the finest examples known to exist. And with that small piece of metal, your entire life just changed. This is the moment collectors dream of. The moment curiosity turns into discovery. And discovery turns into destiny. The grading process is not magic, but precision. Graders spend hours under magnification, analyzing every ridge, every tiny mark, every reflection of light across the surface. They measure the sharpness of the strike, the flow of luster, the absence of contact marks, and the originality of the surface. They compare it against reference coins and databases built over decades. If your coin passes all those tests, it receives the high mint state grade that catapults it into the realm of the elite, and the difference between an MS65 and an MS68 can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is why true collectors always say, don't guess, grade. Because grading doesn't just tell you what your coin is worth, it tells you where it belongs in history. Once your coin is certified, the next question is, where do you sell it? The answer depends on your goals. If you want the highest visibility and international bidders, you go to heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, or great collections. These are the temples of numismatics, where million-dollar coins trade hands under bright lights and quiet awe. If you prefer direct control, you can list it on eBay's verified coin program. But always remember, only sell slabbed graded coins. Because buyers pay for authenticity and assurance, not just hope. And once your coin is listed, photographs matter more than words. Capture every angle, every shimmer of the luster. Because a coin worth millions deserves to be seen like a masterpiece. Now here's a secret that most casual viewers don't realize. Coin values are not fixed. They evolve. They rise and fall with the market, with collector demand, and with the discovery of new varieties. When the first $10 million New York quarter surfaced, it ignited global attention. Within months, smaller error versions were being hunted across the country, each discovery fueling another wave of interest. This cycle of curiosity and scarcity drove prices higher. It's what collectors call the rarity ripple effect, where one great discovery lifts the entire category. So even if your coin isn't the exact $10 million specimen, owning a high-grade or minor error New York quarter could still bring in serious profit, sometimes thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, and for many, that's life-changing. Let's peel back another layer. What exactly creates such mint errors? At the Philadelphia Mint, massive high-speed presses strike hundreds of coins per minute. Each press uses two dies, one for the obverse, one for the reverse. Sometimes the dies become misaligned. Sometimes a plancher doesn't center properly. Sometimes the dies themselves rotate slightly. When that happens, designs overlap, shift, or double. And in those rare cases, you get an error that's not a defect but a miracle. These flaws, sealed in metal, turn routine production into one in a billion treasures. And that's the paradox collectors love. Perfection born from imperfection. Coin experts describe the $10 million New York quarter as having unreal strike character. The fields are mirror-like. The devices, that's collector terminology for the raised parts of the design, are crisp and frosted. The contrast between the smooth background and sharp relief gives it a proof-like appearance, even though it's a business strike coin. This unique visual effect magnifies its beauty under magnification. And that eye appeal adds intangible value that can sway even the most analytical bidders. It's not just about technical perfection, it's about emotional perfection. The kind of piece that makes seasoned collectors whisper when they see it. But why 10 million? Why so high? Because collecting is not always rational. It's driven by passion, prestige, and competition. When two collectors want something unique, price becomes secondary. It's no longer about metal, it's about history. One of the bidders reportedly said, "You can't put a price on the only one of its kind." And that's the truth of numismatics. The rarest coin in any category is priceless. And if it carries emotional symbolism like the Statue of Liberty and the year 2001, its cultural weight multiplies its monetary worth. Now let's take a step back and talk about the emotional side of the hunt. Every collector remembers the first time they found something rare. The racing pulse, the disbelief, the rush of adrenaline. You look at the coin again and again. Afraid it might change, you research for hours. Compare details, join online forums, message experts, it consumes you. And that's the beauty of this world. It transforms curiosity into purpose, and purpose into passion. Numismatics isn't just a hobby, it's an exploration of history you can hold in your hand. So let's imagine another scene. Someone watching this video right now rummages through an old jar of change. They find a 2001 quarter. It looks ordinary at first, but then they notice the Statue of Liberty seems just a little off-center. The stars slightly stretched, the words "Gateway to Freedom" faintly doubled. They take a closer look. Their heart starts pounding. Could it be? They follow exactly what you've just learned. They don't clean it. They submit it to PCGS. Weeks later, they receive the slab. MS67 error. Estimated value. 150,000, not 10 million, but still enough to rewrite their story. And all because they watched, learned, and looked. Collectors always say the same thing. The next great discovery is already out there. Because history shows that treasures appear when least expected. The 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die cent, the 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter. All mistakes that turned into legends. And now, the 2001 New York quarter joins that hall of fame. Proof that modern coins still hold ancient-level secrets. And here's the most mind-bending thought of all. The US Mint has never officially confirmed how many of these error coins escaped, which means there could be more, hiding in circulation, waiting for eyes that know what to seek. Let's ground this in numbers. A standard circulated 2001 New York quarter is worth 25 cents. An uncirculated one in mint state 60 might fetch $1 or $2. But once you hit mint state 67 or higher, values skyrocket. Some pieces sell for $500 to $2,000. And if there's a confirmed mint error, it can reach tens of thousands. And in extraordinary cases like the off-center mirrored die coin, the sky is the limit. This shows the exponential power of condition, rarity, and demand combined. So how do you start? If you're new to this, first, educate yourself. Visit PCGS CoinFacts and NGC Variety Plus, study real examples, learn to spot the difference between genuine and mechanical doubling, between a strike error and simple damage. Second, build relationships with reputable dealers. Local coin shows are full of veterans willing to share decades of experience. Third, protect your finds properly. Use non-PVC holders, keep coins in a dry environment, and never handle them with bare fingers. And finally, document everything. The story behind your coin adds emotional value that collectors respect. Because in numismatics, provenance, the history of ownership matters. A coin with a traceable story commands more respect than one with none. If your coin's discovery story is compelling, it becomes part of its identity, just like the $10 million quarter, whose humble origin in everyday circulation became part of what made it priceless. That's why every collector's mantra is simple. Keep records, keep stories, keep learning. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Why coins like this capture our imagination. It's not only about wealth, it's about wonder, about realizing that history is still being written. Every coin is a witness to time, a tiny ambassador of the moment it was made. And when something goes wrong in the mint, it freezes that mistake forever. A fingerprint of human error preserved in metal. And suddenly that coin becomes a bridge between ordinary people and the extraordinary process that creates our currency. It's proof that perfection is not always what we should seek. Sometimes the flaw is what makes something eternal. Collectors often speak about the hunt, that unending pursuit that keeps them scanning every coin, every auction, every box of change. And maybe that's the true value here, not the $10 million. But the endless curiosity that drives discovery, the belief that even in an age of technology and mass production, there are still secrets hiding in plain sight. So what should you do next? Simple. Start looking, check your 2001 quarters. Not once, but twice. Teach your kids, your friends, your family to look too. Turn it into a game. Because the more eyes that search, the more likely someone will find the next big discovery. And if it's you, remember this moment, because you'll know that knowledge made it possible. And when you do find something rare, come back here, share your story in the comments, tell the world what you discovered, because this community thrives on shared excitement. Your story could inspire the next person, just like this one inspired you. Before we wrap up, here's one last piece of wisdom that every successful collector learns. Patience pays. Coins can sit unnoticed for decades before their true worth is revealed. So even if you don't strike gold today, keep collecting, keep learning, because every coin you save is a lesson, and one of those lessons could turn into a life-changing discovery. Now, take a deep breath. Imagine the sound of coins clinking together, the feel of cool metal in your palm, and remember that within that sound could lie the echo of fortune. The 2001 New York State Quarter proved that miracles can come from the most ordinary places. And that's what we celebrate here on Profit Show. The belief that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story ends with a millionaire. So if this story made you curious, if it sparked even a flicker of excitement, hit that like button, leave a comment telling us which coin you'll be checking first, and make sure you subscribe to Profit Show right now. Because every week we dive into another hidden treasure from the world of coins, currency, and collectibles. Together we uncover secrets the world forgot, and maybe, just maybe, the next legend we talk about will be yours. Share this video with every coin lover you know. Because one share could change someone's life. Stay curious, stay hopeful, and never stop looking. Because your pocket change could be worth millions, and your story might be the next great chapter in the history of American coins. This is Profit Show, reminding you that value hides in plain sight, and sometimes it only takes one quarter to make history.